Hi, it's Amy, and we're talking Dallas Cowboys football. This is the game wrap-up for Cowboys versus Giants, and all of us Cowboys fans are really disappointed in the outcome of this game. So, I usually am not able to do this, but I believe the reason for this loss rests squarely on the shoulders of Tony Romo. I know it's a team sport, I know it's a team effort, but really it was Tony Romo's actions that caused this game to fall apart. 3 interceptions. You simply cannot throw 3 interceptions against the Giants unless our defense gets 3 interceptions back. There's just no way to win. And Tony, all of his throws were just off. None of them looked good. He just could not sync up with any of his receivers. It was just a flat out mess. So another thing I didn't understand, on one of his interceptions, the Giants defense reads what's going on. The guy slaps his helmet and rearranges the Giants defensive line, and Tony Romo still throws the same play. I don't understand this. It seems so obvious to me just watching, and yet Romo never saw it. In fact, in this whole game, it seems like Romo didn't see anything. He didn't see open receivers. He didn't see defensive guys who were right where he was throwing. This was just an unmitigated disaster for Tony Romo. Also, it goes into my point that I just don't think Tony Romo has ever done any development as a quarterback. Is he really any different than when he took over from Drew Bledsoe a few years ago? I don't see it. He's still wildly inconsistent, and if you want to be a top 10 or a top 5 quarterback, consistency is the key. I'm no fan of Eli Manning, but Eli was very consistent last night, and he made the most of opportunities handed to him by the Cowboys. Offense. First off, Marion Barber, Felix Jones, and Tashard Choice should be really proud of themselves. You guys, you played a fantastic game, and kudos to the offensive line for opening up some really nice lanes and big holes for these guys to shoot through. So the running game looked fantastic last night. I was really pleased to see that. So 251 yards, just good everywhere you looked. Felix Jones did have that weird little fumble, but I'm willing to give him that. He's still a rookie because he missed most of the season last year, and I think that he's just going to get better and better. So all that was good. Then we go to the passing game. 49 total yards. Can I blame this on the receivers? No, I cannot. I have to ask the question, are we better off with T.O. on this game? And the answer is, who knows? Tony Romo couldn't hit anybody. He didn't throw anywhere near them, or he zinged passes that were so fast they couldn't even get a catch on them. It was just, they were so off, it was unbelievable. Roy Williams, I will give some credit to. He did do some nice blocking. I saw several blocks that I thought were very good for a wide receiver. So I'll give him that. But in general, the whole passing game was a disaster, and it lay squarely on the shoulders of Tony Romo. Flozell Adams, I was really hoping that I was going to applaud your first penalty-free game. But come on, cheap shots, tripping, and taking out Justin Tuck. Cut that out. I hate cheap shot players. Don't do that. Also, he took out Justin Tuck for the rest of the game. Justin Tuck is an outstanding player. I say, if we can't win against their A team, what's the point? That's preseason. So I don't applaud any of Flozell's actions, and I'm really disappointed by them. All right, let's move on to defense. Defense. Last week I complained that they were not doing the 3 basic jobs of the defense. Sunday night, they did control the run. So I thought they did a very good job shutting down the run, and no small feat against Brandon Jacobs. He is a monster runner, and I thought they controlled him very well. However, they failed to put any pressure on Eli Manning. We had 0 sacks for the game. Anybody else missing Greg Ellis? Because I sure am. Greg Ellis is out there making sacks in just 2 games. We haven't seen anything out of the defensive line here. And they failed to put pressure into any turnovers. They failed to get any turnovers. So 1 down, 2 to go, but still defense needs a lot of work. It seems like they can control the run or they can control the pass, but they can't do both in the same game. So the defending the run was just absolutely horrible. I thought our secondary was incredibly weak. The tackling again this week was really poor. And I don't know that this rotating corners thing is really working. Again, based on Sunday night and the passing game, I'd say it's not working. Overall, and one more point, the Giants managed to take DeMarcus Ware out of this game. I find that really scary. Every other team in the NFL ought to be watching the tape of this game and looking how the Giants did it, because DeMarcus Ware was not a presence in the second half. That's scary. He's a really good defensive player. If another team is able to neutralize that, that's really bad news for Dallas. So overall, I thought the defense did okay. They weren't perfect. They were okay, but they just couldn't last through the end of the game. Maybe they were tired. I mean, frankly, the offense kept giving the ball to the Giants, and I could see if the defense was worn out. It really never should have come down to a 2-minute drill for a field goal. Also, it seemed like they were in the prevent defense on the last 2 minutes of the game, and I didn't understand that. That prevent defense allowed the Giants to just march right down the field. Again, a lot of work there. So overall, I found this to just be indicative of everything that's wrong with the Cowboys. I want to say that the Cowboys were the better team and they lost, but they weren't. They were the dominating team, but the better team was the one that held it together and made things happen, like turnovers, like the 2-minute drill to actually score and win the game. So very disappointing. There's something else disturbing I discovered. So Tony Romo's history has been do really well in September and give us all hope, and do pretty good in October, and then start the inevitable downhill slide in November. This is the Cowboys' schedule. We don't play another divisional game until November 8th. That's frightening. This is usually the start of the decline for Dallas, and all our divisional games are stacked on the end. So unless things change, Emmitt Smith is right. I just don't see how Dallas is going to look better than 7-9, or maybe they get lucky 8-8, going the way that they're going. So I hope that things improve, but my hope is gone. I just don't see it. So we'll see what happens next week. Monday night game with Carolina Panthers. Carolina's having a rough time of it, so I expect Dallas will win, but I really would like to see some improvement on all the points I covered earlier. So go Cowboys, and see y'all next week.